Okay, so hello and welcome to our session for today. So we are going to have now the solutions to applications to ILD. For the first problem, we have here the simply supported beam with an overhang in it. So we are going to determine the maximum upward reaction at B, the maximum positive shear at the section just to the right of support B, the maximum positive shear at E, the maximum moment at E due to dead load plus live load if the dead load is 16 kilonewton meter. So we have also the given uniform live load here that is equivalent to 8 kilonewton per meter and the concentrated load of 90 kilonewton. So as we all know, the criteria here is the influence line in order to determine the maximum upward reaction at B. So first, we illustrate our ILD for reaction at B. Say this is the beam. So we indicate here the points. As well as the distances. So this is 5 meters, 10, 10 meters, and 10 meters. So for the reaction at B, it could be illustrated by Mahler-Breslau, wherein we allow a vertical movement at B. Say this is the vertical movement that is equivalent to 1. And of course, it is restrained at this section, point C, so that it will have a influence line diagram passing through C because it is pin connected and okay. So we set these ordinates. So this is 1. So this is y1. See, this dimension is y2. So by ratio and proportion, we can see that y1 is to 25 is equal to 1 is to 20, which is also equal to y2 is to 10. So we can pair y1 to the center portion of the equation. So therefore, y1 will just be equal to 25 divided by 20, that is equal to 1.25. And then, so let us present the solution here. 25 by 1 all over 20, that is equivalent to 1.25. And then y2 will be equal to 10 times 1 over 20, or this is equal to 0.5. And of course, if we need this by and by, let us try to solve this y3. So y3 is to 10 as to y2 is to 10. So therefore, y3 is just simply equal to y2, which is equal to 0.5. Only that y2 is located at the negative portion, so basically that is negative 0.5. So as for the maximum reaction at B, we will simply place our 90 kilonewton on the highest ordinate of this influence line diagram, and we also place the uniform live load along the positive area of this influence line diagram. Of course, in this particular problem, it does not mention that we need to consider the dead load on the first requirement. So first, I'm going to have this 90 kilonewton be placed on this ordinate, the highest ordinate, which is positive, and place the distributed live load along the positive area, okay, of the influence line diagram, so that the maximum upward for number 1, the maximum upward reaction at B will be equal to 90 by, just multiply this by the ordinate, which is y1, okay, and we add this 8 kilonewton per meter, okay, multiplied by the area of this triangle, or the positive area of the influence line diagram. So that is y1 is 1.25 with the base of 25. So it is 1/2 times base by height, which is 1.25. So therefore, the maximum upward RB will just be equal to 237.5 kilonewton. That is for the first requirement. Okay, so for the second requirement, we need to have the maximum positive shear at section just to the right of support B. So for the positive shear, we also need to establish the influence line diagram. So if we are going to take B here, it so happened that your B, there is a roller support at point B, and therefore we cannot really apply the principle of Mahler-Breslau, because if we are going to cut this one, your cut section would not be enclosed by two support reactions. So our method is more on equilibrium method, since again your cut section is not enclosed by two support reactions. So if you're going to have a cut section on B, there will be only a single restraint that is at point C. So the roller support here will be vanished. So using our equilibrium method on B, let us simply cut that section B. Say this is the cut section considering our left portion. There will be a reaction here. So the reaction is maintained. Why? Because the unknown at a section just to the right of support at B. So meaning we are on the section at x is equal to 5 plus. Okay, so if we have a section equivalent to 5 plus, then our reaction here is considered. Okay, so basically this is the reaction at B, and reaction at B is a changing value depending on, because one here is or the unit load is moving from A to D. So essentially we can use the influence line diagram for RB. So actually we have already established the ILD for RB. So we can utilize that RB in establishing the shear, because the shear equation will be just equal to say this is the unit load 1 and this is x. So simply Vx is summation forces vertical, positive going up and negative going down. So we will be having two equations here, just left of B, or where x is equal to within the left of B, that is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so we can say that Vx is equal to 1 minus RB. Or negative 1, sorry. Negative 1 because that is downwards, plus going upwards RB. So we can tabulate this A to B, up to A to B. Say X, the RB, and the shear at B. So having now the values, when X is 0, what is the value of RB? So we can see that in your ILD for RB. So when X is 0, your value of reaction at B is 1.25, or Y1 1.25. So the corresponding shear at B, negative 1 plus 1.25, that is equal to 0.25. Okay. And then we move our unit load on B, so exactly at point B. So still we have the value for RB, or 1. Therefore when X is equal to 5, your RB is equal to 1. Okay, so therefore negative 1 plus 1, that is equal to 0. So we have a 0 value when X is equal to 5, because your RB becomes 1. That would be deducted from the unit load, negative 1 here. So this equation will be just limited to A to B. Okay, because in here, if we have an equation By the way, this is supposedly 5 minus. So if we have an equation at x is equal to 5 plus, what happens is that of course there still be RB here, but your loading will no longer be present at this cut portion. Therefore, if your x exceeds 5 meters, say just right of 5, by the way this is 5 minus, and we continue, this is 5 plus, your RB and shear at B, okay, will be the same. Okay, your RB and shear at B will be the same, because if we are going to have the shear equation here, it is just simply equal to RB, so there is no pair in it. But this equation is applicable only when your x exceeds point B. So in short, let us just follow this diagram. Okay, when x is 5 plus, your reaction at B is equal to 1, and that would also equate to 1. Okay, and then if your x will be equal to 15, x now will be equal to 15, what is the value of RB? So it is y3 here, you can see 15, and then y3, that is equal to 0.5. So VB is simply equal to RB also, 0.5, and then when your x is 25, it will be equal to 0. So your RB will be equal to 0. And if it is 35, your RB is y2, that is 0.5. So meaning, it will just follow this diagram when it comes to 5 plus, or when it is exceeding your B, just right of B. So therefore, your ILD for that, say this is the beam, when X, say we put the dimensions here, this is 5, 10, 10, and 10. So when X is 0, your shear at B, let us label this as ILD for VB. Your shear at B is equal to 0.25. So that is a positive value, 0.25. And when X is 5, your ILD will be equal to 0. So it will yield to 0 here. And then 5 plus, when X is exceeding 5, your shear will become 1. Or in short, you'll just have to copy this ILD. So it will become 1, and then it will pass through C. Okay. Passing through C and following this dimension. Say this is 1. We have here the value of y3, that is 0.5, and this is negative 0.5 as well. So therefore, this will be now our basis in determining the maximum positive shear at section just to the right of support B. So just to the right of support B, we'll just have to consider this portion of the ILD, as well as putting the concentrated load on the maximum ordinate. So we place here the 90, and we place the distributed load on the positive areas. Say the uniform live load is equivalent to 8 kilonewton per meter, and of course we wanted also to place distributed load on the positive area of the triangle. So this is also 8 kilonewton per meter. So we neglect the area here because we are just referring to positive values. So therefore, the maximum positive shear at B will be equal to 90 times the ordinate 1 plus the smaller triangle times the uniformly distributed load, that is 8. So 8 times the area, 1/2, base times height, 5 times 0.25, and then we also add the larger one, multiply it by the distributed load, say that is 1, or base times 1/2 base times height 1. So therefore, maximum positive shear at B will be equal to 175 kilonewton. Okay? So that is the maximum positive shear at B. So let us proceed to the next unknown. We have the maximum positive shear at E. So for the shear at E here is enclosed by 2 supports, so therefore we can use the Mahler-Breslau principle for our shear. Say this is support B, this is A, B, this is E, this is C, and this is D. So we're gonna let that deflect downwards, passing through B, because we have a support at B. Okay. And an upward deflection here, passing through C also. So I think we'll be having here a symmetry. Okay. Say Y1, Y2, Y3, and Y4. Obviously, Y1 and Y2 will just be equal, and that is half of 1, because Y1 plus Y2 will always yield to 1 in terms of the shear, considering the Mahler Breslau principle. So L1 here is equal to 10 as well as L2 is equal to 10. So let me just show you how it was derived. So y1, the base of y1 is 10 all over the sum of the bases of these two triangles that is within the enclosure of these two support reactions. So obviously that is equal to 10 over 20, or y1 is equal to 0.5, and y2 as well is computed that way. Okay, the base of y2 is 10 also, so this is 10 over 20, and y2 will be equal to 0.5. Now since y3 has the same base, this is also 10, therefore y3 could be also equal to 0.5, and y4 could be derived by the Ratian proportion. Y2 is 10 is equal to y4, so this is 5, y4 is to 5, and y2 is equal to 0.5, so therefore y4 is equal to 5 times 0.5 all over 10. Therefore we have 0.25 as the value of y4. So this is negative 0.5, this is positive 0.5, y4 is 0.25, and this is also negative y3 negative 0.5. Okay, so the unknown is the maximum positive shear at B. So maximum positive shear at B. So we'll just place your concentrated load on the maximum ordinate on the positive side, that is 0.5. So we place here 90, and we also place the distributed load on the positive shear only. See, this is 8 kilonewton per meter. So there is a positive area here as well. It's equal to 8 kilonewton per meter. So therefore, computing now our shear, we have 90 times 0.5. So we add 8 this one times 1/2 5 by 0.25 for the smaller triangle, and we add also 8 by 1/2 0.5 by 10. Okay, so therefore maximum positive, it should be shear at E will be equal to 70 kilonewtons. Okay, so moving on to the moment at E. Okay. Again, we establish the ILD. See, this is the beam. We have here points A, B. See, this is E, C, and that is D. So by Mahler-Breslau principle, just have to apply here roller connection and let that to deform upwards. So you can have an upward deformation there, but the line here is also passing at B because there's support here and also along C. So there will be a symmetry on this particular diagram. No. Okay. And then take note of our, we label L1 and L2. L1 is 10 and L2 is 10. See, this is Y1, Y2, and Y3. So Y1 is computed by Mahler-Breslau equal to product all over sum of L1 and L2. So L1 and L2 again is enclosed by the two support reactions. So you can say that Y1 is 10 times 10 all over 10 plus 10. So 10 times 10 is 100 all over 20. Y1 therefore is equal to 5. So we can place it in here, 5. And obviously, since we have the same base for this CD, which is also equal to 10, we can simply conclude that Y2 here will also be equal to negative 5, or the same magnitude as this one. And then Y3 could be derived by ratio proportion, or Y3 is simply the half of 5, since 10 or 5 is the half of 10 here by ratio proportion. Obviously this is also the half of 5, that is negative 2.5. So this will now be our ILD, which will be the basis in determining the moment at E due to dead load plus live load. So given the dead load is 16 kilonewton per meter. So let us compute for the maximum moment at E. And basically we'll be considering two approaches for live load and for dead load. So as we have discussed, live load are placed only on the positive side of the diagram, unlike dead load. The distributed load is placed all over the beam. So let us have that one. So first, we place the 90 on the maximum value of the positive coordinate. Okay. And we focus on the positive area only for its distributed load. So this distributed load is placed on the positive area of your diagram. Say this is actually for live load. Considering the positive portion. And for dead load, we have negative. So the distributed load is placed all over your beam. So let us now compute for the maximum moment at E. Actually, we can also place for live load and consider negative ones, but eventually we do not bother ourselves to do that because it is obvious that the maximum moment at E will be based from positive. Okay, so meaning your maximum moment will be positive, or positive output will prevail, because it is obvious here that the positive area, there are larger area for positive value. Okay, unlike for negative, there are smaller rectangles there. And obviously, if we are going to compute this one, it will also yield to positive. So if we have a combined positive and negative, your maximum moment at E will just be reduced. So we will not bother ourselves again in computing for the negative values here. So start with the live load. So 90 is multiplied by the ordinate, and then we add 8 here times the area of that triangle, that is 1/2, base is 20, height is 5. Okay, and then we add all of the sum of this dead load. First, we have negative. By the way, this is 16 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so dead load is 16 kilonewton per meter. So we have negative area here. So negative 16 by 1/2 by 5 by 2.5. And then we add the positive area here, 16 by 1/2 by 20 by 5. And then we deduct this one, minus 16 by 1/2 by, so this is 10 by 5. So we compute for the maximum moment at E, which will yield to 1150 kilonewton meter. So let me show you what I'm talking about a while ago, that we could also consider negative values of the live load. So how is that? So we have indicated for live load plus there. So what if our criteria is for live load minus? See, for live load minus. First, your let's just re-illustrate that one. Say this is our ILD. This is 5, negative 5, and negative 2.5. So when we have for live load minus, let us place here, the 90 on the maximum value of the negative. Okay. Secondly, the distributed load will be placed on the negative areas. Okay. This is 8 kilonewton per meter. It is 8 kilonewton per meter. So recalculation of our maximum moment at E. First, we have 90 times negative 5. And then we deduct the area, 8. 8 by 1/2, 2.5 by 5 minus 8 by 1/2, 10 by 5. And then we all copy that. Negative 16 times 1/2, 5 by 2.5 plus 16 times 1/2, 20 by 5 minus 16 times 1/2, 10 by 5. So upon calculation, we can have a value equivalent to negative 400 kilonewton meter. So see, we didn't bother ourselves by doing this because it's obvious that positive live load will prevail into our diagram. Okay, so comparing that, of course, we are going to adopt the larger value for the maximum moment at E. Okay, so that's it for this problem, and stand by for the solution of the next problem.